Namaste, Jai Hind and welcome to this edition of The Right Stand. I'm Anand Narasimhan. The winter session of Parliament has opened with fireworks amidst intense protests and immediate chaos in the Lok Sabha. Opposition MPs stormed the well, raised slogans and demanded urgent discussion on the controversial special intensive revision of electoral rolls, particularly highlighting suicides among booth-level officers or BLOs and what they described as vote chori. As a result, the Speaker adjourned the House twice, first to 12 noon and later again until around 2 p.m. before finally suspending proceedings for the day. Despite the ruckus, the government attempted to push through business. During a brief 12-minute window in the 0 hour, the government introduced 3 bills: a bill to amend excise duty on tobacco and tobacco products, a new cess on the manufacture of pan masala, and a bill related to GST for Manipur. The GST amendment bill for Manipur was passed in the din of protests, but the dominant feature of the day was the aggressive stand of the Prime Minister at the top of the day itself, who accused the opposition of reducing parliamentary proceedings to theatrics. Prime Minister Narendra Modi declaring publicly that Parliament is not a place for drama, it is a place for delivery, urging the opposition parties to abandon dramebazi.
ड्रामा करने के लिए जगह बहुत होती है, जिसको करना है करते रहें। यहां ड्रामा नहीं, डिलीवरी होनी चाहिए। नारे के लिए भी जितने नारे बुलवाने हैं, वो पूरा देश खाली पड़ा है। जहां पराजित होकर के आए वहां बोल चुके हो, जहां अभी पराजय के लिए जाने वाले हो वहां भी बोल दीजिए, लेकिन यहां तो नारे नहीं, नीति पर बल देना चाहिए और वो आपकी नीयत होनी चाहिए। ये सत्र संसद देश के लिए क्या सोच रही है, विपक्ष भी अपना दायित्व निभाएं, चर्चा में ऐसे मुद्दे उठाएं, मजबूत मुद्दे उठाएं, पराजय के निराशा में से बाहर निकल करके आए। और दुर्भाग्य है कि एक आध दो दल तो ऐसे हैं कि वो पराजय भी नहीं पचा पाते। बिहार के नतीजे इतना समय हो गया है तो अब थोड़ा संभल गए होंगे, लेकिन कल जो मैं बयानबाजी सुन रहा हूं उनकी, तो उसे लगता है कि पराजय ने उनको परेशान करके रखा है। पराजय की बौखलाहट का वो मैदान नहीं बनना चाहिए और ये शीतकालीन सत्र विजय के अहंकार में भी परिवर्तित नहीं होना चाहिए।
So message to both sides, perhaps the most stern, not reconciliatory this time around at all. So stop your dramebazi, stop being sore losers. This is about niti and also about your niyat, not about dramebazi, he said. But at the same time, reminding the victors that arrogance is not going to take you far, so don't be arrogant in your victory. Now, in response, the opposition called the Prime Minister's remarks hypocritical and accused the government of rushing through legislation while stifling meaningful debate on critical issues such as the alleged electoral roll manipulation, voter disenfranchisement, and the SIR-related grievances. Listen.
Elections are over, then another cycle of elections will come. The Parliament, while the government wants us to let Parliament function smoothly, it's also incumbent upon them to give us the space to raise issues of concern to us. I mean, we want to raise many issues of concern to the average citizen in India, and the government must give us the space to raise that.
प्रधानमंत्री जी ने कहा है जी, तो सही कहा कि हंगामा करने की जरूरत नहीं है, लेकिन हंगामा का कारण तो प्रधानमंत्री का दल ही।
लेकिन वो कह रहे हैं कि हार की हताशा में, बौखलाहट में कुछ दल जो है संसद में
ऐसा है, प्रधानमंत्री की बात का जवाब देना भी ठीक।
What is the opposition raising in Parliament? They are asking the government to at least initiate a debate and discussion on SIR or electoral reforms. Do you think it's drama? If the Prime Minister or the BJP leadership or the one sitting at the helm of affairs in the government thinks that by raising the right questions for the people or raising people's voices is drama, then let people of the country see.
Well, the teachers and those who have been affected by the Shiksha scam in Bengal are asking similar questions, but this is about what's happening in Parliament. Now, in fact, the opposition took it a step further, with the Congress MP Renuka Chaudhary getting a dog inside Parliament complex, and she said it should not bother anyone as those who really bite and attack people are inside Parliament.
डेमोक्रेसी प्रोटोकॉल, कहीं कानून बनी हुई है क्या? मैं रास्ते में आ रही थी, वहाँ एक स्कूटर वाला और कार वाले का टक्कर हुआ। उसके आगे ये छोटा पिल्ला निकल के सड़क पे घूम रही थी। मैंने सोचा ये किसी पहिए के नीचे आ जाएगी, मैं उठा के उसको गाड़ी में रखी और पार्लियामेंट आई और वापस भिजवा दी। गाड़ी भी गई, कुत्ता भी गई। तो किस बात की चर्चा चल रही है? असली डसने वाले और काटने वाले पार्लियामेंट में बैठे हैं, सरकार चलाते हैं, उसका कोई इतराज नहीं। हम किसी गूंगे जानवर का हम देखभाल करते हैं तो ये बड़ी मुद्दा और चर्चा बन गई। और कुछ है ही नहीं क्या सरकार के पास?
Well, is that not lowering the discourse? Does that behove of someone as senior as Renuka Chaudhary ji to say कि असली डसने वाले काटने वाले पार्लियामेंट में बैठे हैं जो सरकार चला रहे हैं? Well, what she did was an act of a kindred act, and she saved a small being, a small puppy there, and she brought them. It was violation of the norms. People may not have known the reason, but she could have explained that. But beyond that, is that not lowering the discourse? The past few sessions have witnessed near complete washouts, hours lost, bills passed without discussion. The monsoon session itself seeing a total waste of 156 hours, costing the taxpayers a whopping 204 crore. Critical national issues have been sidelined by confrontation, and the first day has set a confrontational tone with the opposition's insistence on the SIR debate combined with the PM's strong no drama message. Now the question remains, in this entire winter session dogfight, who is pushing for delivery and who is pushing for drama? Let's go across to our guest straight away. Tuhin Sinha, national spokesperson of the BJP, Akash Deepmuni, political analyst, and Dr. Anand Ranganathan, again author, political commentator, scientist. My namaste and Jai Hind to everybody. Tuhin Sinha, no dramebazi, says the Prime Minister. But where is the delivery amidst all this din? We already lost 204 crores in the monsoon session.
Namaste Anand, namaste everybody. You know, I was going through data from 2014. The 16th Lok Sabha, that is 2014 to 19, had a productivity percentage of 80%. That dropped between 2019 to 2024 to around 55%, and this present Lok Sabha starting 2024 has a productivity of around 40%. Now, you know, when the Congress lost power in 2019, that is when they realized that coming back to power is going to be very difficult, and the entire nature of their politics turned dystopian. They have been in an anarchist mode in parliament since then. You would recall that this is the same government which has discussed Article 370 right up to 1 a.m. in the morning, in the early wee hours of the morning. This is the same government that has discussed Waqf Amendment Act till 2 a.m. in the morning and then sat down to discuss Manipur till 4 a.m. Where was Rahul Gandhi on that day? He was missing as usual. So I think, you know, this, and obviously what Renuka Chaudhary did today, I mean, there are no words to condemn that cheap behavior. Now, we can't take her at face value given, you know, the drama queen that she has been. But even if she did a noble act by saving the life of a small puppy, her comments after that have really lowered the discourse. And, you know, I think Congress party needs to apologize for her behavior. But point is, we are open to discussing every issue that the opposition comes up with. Now, the problem with this opposition is the sense of entitlement they have. When they wanted to discuss Manipur, they wanted to discuss it under a certain rule, whereby all other matters would have been, you know, set aside till the time Manipur was discussed. We discussed it for 2 full days. When they wanted to have the no confidence motion discussion, they, you know, after Operation Sindoor, they wanted to have it under the same rule. When we discussed it threadbare, they had nothing to say after the discussion because obviously, you know, their whole agenda was based on misinformation and they were acting as a mouthpiece of ISI. So I think this opposition needs to ponder. I think Prime Minister was well-meaning in his advice. You know, probably this opposition might take inspiration from the poetry of, from the poems of Atal Bihari Vajpayee. We have been in an opposition for a very long time. We never gave up. We never resorted to this kind of anarchist politics, and this opposition also needs to behave responsibly.
Tuhin Sinha, you know, we all have in our lives people who bring out the worst in us. Why does the BJP bring out the worst in the Congress? It's all
Like I
that
said-
all that angst, all that hate, all that demeanor, all that language is reserved for the BJP from the Congress
Like I
party.
said, Anand, it's a perverse sense of entitlement. We have been, as BJP, obviously, we were in opposition for a good 16 years before forming a government for 13 days in 1996, and then the 6-year government in 1998. But we have been in opposition as Jan Sangh from 1950. The Congress party is not used to being in opposition, and somewhere the whole agenda is so negative today, it reeks of a very dystopian character. The entire agenda is to bring down the country. Imagine the kind of bills which are being tabled. The atomic energy bill. Do they not want nuclear, energy security for India? Why do they want to disrupt the proceedings? And then they will say the discussion has not happened. Yes, the discussions don't happen because the government, is time bound. It wants to race ahead with the economic agenda. It can't wait till eternity for this opposition to behave itself.
See, for many, COVID is also a distant memory, but I've been, my hair is not grey just like that. I've spent a few years in journalism, and I've seen when the BJP was in opposition during 2011, 2012, 2010 in opposition, and you quoted Vajpayee ji, I'm quoting Arun Jaitley. Burden of running the house lies on the government. So,
Well, that's why the house is running.
Somewhere it's a reflection on the government's inability to reach across the corridors and to run the house and to ensure the parliament functions. You'll accept that?
Well, we have been doing that. Tell me one important issue where discussion has not taken place. Whether it was Manipur, but they want it on their terms entirely. The problem starts with that. Please understand, it's the prerogative of the government of the day to set the agenda. As long as important agendas are not being missed, as long as they are debated extensively, with the opposition getting equal number of speakers, equal time, I don't think the opposition can have a problem with everything. If they want to discuss, the death of BLOs, yes, we will be happy to discuss, because obviously in Bengal, we have seen how TMC leaders have been intimidating BLOs. So yes, they need to be investigated. We will be the last ones to run away from that discussion. But this entire sense of entitlement where they want to set the agenda, I'm sorry, the opposition does not set the prerogative of running the house. We will have all of these discussions, but they cannot, set the schedule. That is the job, that is the prerogative of the Parliamentary Affairs Minister.
There's a reason why the Prime Minister also said that don't be arrogant in your victory. Akash Tipuni coming to you, but Dr. Ranganathan put his hand up. Yes, Dr. Ranganathan.
No, I didn't mean to prevent my good friend Dr. Muni from speaking, but be that as it may, I just want to lay out 3 or 4 points. My good friend Tuhin has made some excellent points, and I'm sure Dr. Muni also would. But the fact, first of all, congratulations to, and I thank Renuka ji for saving the puppy, because agar puppy car ke niche aa jata hai, kisi ko acha nahi lagta, as you know, a wise man once said. But, let's turn to Parliament. I want to draw an analogy out here. Because the fact of the matter is, जब तक अपना पैसा नहीं लगता ना आनंद, तब तक कोई लाइन पे नहीं आता. Now let me draw this analogy. You've held thousands of debates every day for years. Have you ever had an occasion where you had to adjourn a debate? Yes, you might have had unruly debaters off and on. Maybe I also lost my cool. Some of us did.
No, you have literally been assaulted also sometimes in person. Yeah, but that's what happened. Yeah.
But the fact is, you have never adjourned a debate. Why does Parliament adjourn a debate? Because unke paisa nahi hai. That is why, I mean, when they fine the parliamentarians for unruly behavior, it's water off a duck's back. You fine them $1,000, they're earning $1,000 every second. Hit them where it hurts them. Any unruly behavior, any climbing onto the desk or thumping or breaking this and that, and you deduct 3 months of your term. जब 4 ऐसे होंगे और 1 साल कम हो जाएगा लूट करने को, कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंसी सब लाइन पे आ जाएंगे. बहरहाल, be that as it may. I am saddened not because the parliament is adjourned, because you can keep on having the debates away from parliament as well. But I am sad because ultimately, in a democracy, Anand, let's face it, one has to be absolutely, resolutely critical of the government. Praise it when it deserves praise, and, criticize it when it merits criticism. Every citizen would want to do that. Tuhin would want us to be like that. Modi would want us to be like that. And our voice is that of opposition. The duty of the opposition is to carry our voice to the parliament, to put the government on the dock. I'm afraid it's absolutely not doing it. You want two examples? Let me give you very quickly two examples. This is a shame because our voice is not represented out there. First example, everyone is talking about the 40 odd deaths in Bengal of BLOs. Can those same people, can Dr. Muni explain to me? And it's a very serious question. In the recently concluded SIR exercise in Bihar, that has a population almost a third more than Bengal, 135 million. 90,200 BLOs conducted the entire exercise in 1 month, facing dust, heat, monsoon, terrain, whatnot. They visited house to house, 15.1 million households. And at the end of the day, they actually had on the voters list 79.1 million voters. Not a single case of suicide occurred, not one. Why? I want that answer. They were under as much strain as the BLOs working elsewhere are. Why is it that not a single case of suicide occurred then? This same question has to be answered by the people who are alleging all those things that has happened to the BLOs. I'm sure Dr. Muni would explain it. And number two, this is also very important. When you talk about delivery versus drama, I'll tell you what Modi has delivered. Modi has delivered 8.2% GDP growth in Q2. And what is the drama happening? The drama is happening because the opposition is saying we don't believe this number. Because the IMF has come out with something that has graded us C and downgraded, doesn't believe our methodology. Now look at the shenanigan out here. Look at the conceit. The same metric on IMF has not been changed over the last 2 years. So what was calculated last year, the same method has been calculated this year. What was downgraded by IMF last year is the same downgrading this year, C. But the point is, when you're calculating the rate of growth, it doesn't matter what your calculation was based on what metric last year as to this year, because it's a rate of growth. Secondly, will the UPA, will Dr. Muni explain that 3 terms of finance ministership of P. Chidambaram under the UPA and earlier in 1990s, why was he using a base year that was a decade and sometimes a decade and a half old, which is the primary criteria why the IMF has downgraded, saying that you're using the base year of 2011-2012 and that is why we are downgrading. Chidambaram in 2014 was using a base year of 2004. In 1996, he was using a base year of 1981. When Congress does it, everything is fine. You believe the data. When NDA does exactly the same, you don't believe the data. That is why I cannot trust the opposition, and this is a real shame.
Okay, Akashdeep Muni, thank you for your patience. Your turn.
See, Anand, there are 2-3 important points that I want to make here. Is deaths of 40 BLOs a drama? Is taking that issue in the parliament a drama? Of course it's not. And why the PM is saying that don't do drama? 13 common men were murdered in Delhi terror attack. This issue wanted to be, the opposition wanted to take this issue to the parliament. Is it a drama? Delhiites were getting suffocated this winter. AIMS have said that this is a bizarre condition where the people, this is the urgent condition. The doctors are coming in. People in media are running away from Delhi. Still, we are saying that we are not debating it. And when this opposition want to debate it in the parliament, these people are saying it's drama. AQI is crossing 500 and PM is saying that enjoy Delhi's winter. ये PM को बोलना चाहिए या बोलना चाहिए कि चलो आज मीटिंग करते हैं, चलो आज सॉल्यूशंस ढूंढते हैं मिलके, सारे स्टेट्स मिलके ढूंढते हैं, पर ये नहीं करेंगे because it's all about politics. And I want to tell you an example of Sarvesh. He wrote a suicide note. He has 3 kids and he said that I am committing suicide because of this SIR. And today we are blaming Sarvesh. क्योंकि हम मोदी जी को blame ही नहीं कर सकते. क्योंकि हम इतने, we cannot blame the Goliath. We have to blame the poor David only. क्योंकि भाई ये उनके पास पैसा है, उनके पास power है. और वो ड्रामा बोल सकते हैं. Leader of opposition, wait a minute. Leader of opposition Rahul Gandhi questioned PM Modi's silence on the issue during an interaction with affected mothers, urging a detailed Lok Sabha discussion on AQI. Is it a drama? Unemployment rate is 17.3 as per the CMI Q3 2025 rate figures. raising this is a drama, and 12 bills have been passed in 15 minutes. क्या 12 bills पास होना चाहिए कि नहीं होना चाहिए? You tell me, आनंद. 12 बिल के लिए कितना डिस्कशन चाहिए कि नहीं सही है गलत है ये लॉ मेकर्स
but Akashdeep Muni, see, you're passionately asking so many questions, but the opposition is the one that ran into the house. The opposition is the one that caused that. The opposition is the one that caused the din and did not allow Parliament to function. The opposition has allowed the government to get away by disrupt. See, now I didn't. Can I complete? My point is, if the opposition decided we will sit in Parliament and we'll force the government to ask questions and we will not disrupt Parliament, will the government have any other option but to not include this?
Yes.
They won't. The other thing. If it's a fair question to ask, you say that suicides are being conducted because of SIR, right? But it's also a fair question to ask, why is it happening only when SIR is being conducted in Bengal, like Dr. Ranganathan asked? The same SIR was conducted in Bihar with a greater population, with a greater number of booths and greater intensity. Nothing happened. Why is it that this intimidation is happening only? It's a fair debate to have. 1 minute. It's a fair debate to have. But my question to you is, Akashdeep Muni, if you want to ask Tuhin Sinha, and if you want Tuhin Sinha to answer, will you disrupt the debate or will you ensure that he doesn't get up and go?
Chalo.
What will you do? Answer this first. What will you do? If you want Tuhin Sinha to answer your questions, will you create ruckus here, disrupt this entire conversation, or will you ensure that he does not find a reason to get out of here? What will you do? What will be your strategy? You will make him talk, right?
If the procedure of answering is done properly, of course the questions will be asked and answers will be given.
Correct.
But जब वो बोलेंगे ना कि भाई questions आप हमारे मुताबिक क्वेश्चन पूछो और हम आपके मुताबिक आंसर करेंगे, नहीं तो आपको पार्लियामेंट से निकाल देंगे, तो फिर भाई सिस्टम नहीं चलेगा।
ये आप गलत तर्क दे रहे हैं आकाश। नहीं डॉक्टर, आई विल टेल यू व्हाई। आप
क्योंकि मैं आपको बता रहा हूं और रंगनाथन जी भी गलत है, मैं आपको प्रूव करूंगा।
सुनिए,
10 सेकंड दीजिए।
ठीक है, सुनिए, मेरा सिंपल आपसे,
अब व्यूअर्स को तो लगेगा इनके पास आंसर नहीं है।
नहीं आप आंसर दीजिएगा, पर मेरा यही सिंपल लॉजिक है आपको, मैं आपको यही कह रहा हूँ, वेल में उतरा कौन, नारेबाजी की किसने, सदन को फंक्शन नहीं करने दिया किसने, गवर्नमेंट ने कि ऑपोजिशन ने? सवाल कौन पूछ रहा है? ऑपोजिशन। डिसरप्ट कौन कर रहा है? ऑपोजिशन। तो जवाब कैसे दिया जाएगा? जो जवाब नहीं देना चाहता वो तो निकालेगा, वो बहाना ढूंढेगा। आप क्यों बहाना दे रहे हैं? आप क्यों कारण दे रहे हैं? व्हाई आर यू गिविंग दिस वन? एंड आई विल टेल यू व्हाट, दिस इज द विंटर सेशन, दिस इज ओनली day 1, राइट? हाउ मेनी डेज ऑफ द विंटर सेशन? Every day one issue should be listed and it should be discussed, and the opposition will not go home till the time it's discussed. Rather than disrupting it and forcing an adjournment, you should say, we will not go, we will sit here till you answer our questions. Rather than that, you're running into the well, you're disrupting and you're saying, okay, get away, run away.
Speaker कौन से पार्टी का है सर?
No. So are you trying to say that the speaker in Himachal is partisan, the speaker in DMK is speaker in Tamil Nadu is partisan? Are you saying that openly? Are you saying the speaker in Punjab is partisan? Are you saying that the speaker in Karnataka is partisan? Are you saying the speaker in all opposition led governments is partisan? Are you saying that? Sir, who is, don't try and justify. Who is out in the well? Who is creating din? Who is disrupting the house? Who's doing it? Why are you doing it? If you want answers, stay there. Don't go out of the house. Stay there in the house and don't make noise. Force them to answer.
लास्ट पार्लियामेंट सेशन में कितने ऑपोजिशन के लीडर्स को निकाला गया था सर?
क्यों निकाला गया? किस तरह की बदतमीजी की उन्होंने? आपने देखा नहीं? अगर चुपचाप अपनी जगह पे बैठे होते और सवाल के जवाब मांगते, अगर आप मणिपुर में रात को 4 बजे तक बैठ सकते तो हर रोज क्यों नहीं बैठ सकते शाम को 8 बजे तक कि हम नहीं हटेंगे सर, हम जा ही नहीं रहे, जब तक आप जवाब नहीं दोगे हम नहीं जा रहे, हम ना शोर कर रहे हैं ना बदतमीजी कर रहे हैं, हम बैठे हैं, आप डिस्कस करो।
जो ब्लैक बैंड लगा के बैठे थे उनको उठा के बाहर फेंक दिया गया।
ब्लैक आपको ब्लैक बैंड या कुछ भी बैंड, अगर सदन के नियम है उस नियम को आपको फॉलो करना है, नियम के अंदर, दायरे के अंदर, और एक सर तमीज और तहजीब का दायरा है सर. उस तमीज और तहजीब के दायरे के अंदर रह के अगर आप काम करेंगे तो हर कोई जवाब देगा. इट्स नॉट दैट दे वोंट आंसर. तो इंसना
मुझे जवाब देने
अच्छा आप बोले ओके. लेट आकाशदीप मुनि आंसर. लेट आकाशदीप मुनि आंसर. आंसर आकाशदीप मुनि. आंसर. You got the next 60 seconds.
पूछना चाहूंगा रंगनाथन जी, आप तो एनईपी में थे, नेशनल एजुकेशन न्यू एजुकेशन पॉलिसी में थे. तो न्यू एजुकेशन पॉलिसी में जब कोई बच्चा अगर वो बोले कि नहीं कि भाई स्ट्रेस हो रहा है मुझे, तो आप बोले कि नहीं बच्चे की प्रॉब्लम है, टीचर की कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. यही तो न्यू एजुकेशन पॉलिसी में था कि ना कि हमें स्टूडेंट फर्स्ट करना है,
digressing again.
फर्स्ट नहीं करना है.
No, I'm glad he brought this.
Digressing. BLOs are understand. Who's causing the stress?
Election commission is responsible. Not
No, the political party in that state is responsible, sir, because it's happening only unique to that state. It's happening unique to that state. It did not happen in Bihar. It is happening in Bengal. In a 144, you tell me, in a section 144 area where those who have lost their jobs because of the teachers scam, they cannot protest, but BLOs can organize and with mic and they can go ahead and break barricades. Is that not a fair question to ask? Is the opposition, is the government hiding behind the opposition to run away from these questions?
No, first of all, I'm glad he equated us with teachers and, the opposition with students, because, if it was so, they would have heeded to Prime Minister's well-meaning suggestion right in the morning. They shouldn't have taken offense. The Prime Minister meant well when he said that you should come with a positive attitude and you should not disrupt. You disrupted all the more. Now, point is, Honorable Mr. Muni has raised some important issues. Obviously, air is a very important issue. Obviously, BLO's death is an important issue. And it is my commitment and obviously the government's commitment that we are prepared to discuss everything. But now, let me just ask Mr. Muni, if the government believes that there are certain important legislations which needs to be pushed urgently because they will bring impetus, they will give impetus to our economic goals, कि कौन सा इसमें बिल है जो इंपॉर्टेंट नहीं है, जिसको आप नहीं चाहते? इंश्योरेंस लॉस बिल raises FDI insurance from 74 to 100%. Securities Market Code Bill 2025, Single Consolidated Law replacing SEBI Act and Depository Act to the, Atomic Energy Bill, again, I have explained the relevance of it. कौन सा ऐसा बिल है जो आप unimportant मानते हैं, जिसको आप डिस्कस करने के लिए नहीं तैयार हैं? There are 20 days remaining in this session. Our commitment is we will discuss everything because you have more to hide on the BLO's deaths. Bengal, TMC
my simple point is, sir, my simple point is, sir, here's what I would want. All parliamentarians, every parliamentarian should pay for every hour lost. The taxpayer should not be made to pay for it. 204 crores in the monsoon session? No. Every parliamentarian, be it government or opposition, must be billed for every loss of hour because one is hiding behind the other. It's very convenient. I have to wind up. Dr. Ranganathan, 30 seconds. Okay, 30 seconds.
Yeah, they are billionaires. Their term has to be truncated.
That should apply to every party. I mean, not just the opposition. Treasury benches also. Everybody should be penalized. However, you dock them money, you dock the political party they represent money, or you dock anybody. But 204 crores lost in the monsoon session is not, it's a bad reflection. 204 crores, sir, can provide stubble pulling out machines across all of Punjab and all of Haryana to stop the stubble burning. 204 crore can give tents for homeless people in across all the states where winter chill is going to take this one. So this money could have been put to better use than it going waste. I want to wind up on that note. We've just got, Akashdeep Muni said pollution was not discussed, it was raised and we want to talk about pollution. The Sarkar answered on pollution. Amid this entire pollution crisis in the NCR, the government has stated that Parliament, that states of Punjab and Haryana have collectively recorded about 90% reduction in fire incidences during paddy harvesting season in 2025 in comparison to the same period back in 2022. Now with coordinated efforts, number of days with AQI below 200 in Delhi have increased to 200 days in 2025 from 110 days in 2016. So we are a little better off from 9 years ago. While there is an overall improvement in the AQI this year, very poor days with AQI between 301 to 400 and severe days with AQI more than 401 have reduced from 71 days in 2024 to 50 days in 2025. Delhi has observed the lowest average AQI in the past 8 years from 2018 to 2025, barring 2020 during the COVID lockdown. Now, whether or not you believe these numbers, viewers and those watching us in the Delhi NCR region, that I leave it up to you. This is what